What's going on, guys? This is Oh So Good the Barber. So here's a video of one of my haircuts, and it's been a couple of years where I've been thinking, deciding, and whether I should open up a YouTube video. For me, it wasn't too easy. It was actually pretty hard for me to open up a video. I know many may think, oh, just grab a camera, press record, and go for it, but it was a little bit difficult for me. I don't know, I'm not a camera person, but anyways, I know it's not about me. I mean, I know the camera wasn't on me, but it's a little what's that word called? Not terrifying, but it's a little intimidating. But anyways, here's one of my videos, and I'm thinking about sticking to making YouTube videos, but so I can show you guys what just follow me on my journey, guys. And it hasn't been easy. It's been ups and downs, but once you kind of get the hang of it on how to cut hair, pretty much it's just the same thing, the same type of fade, same skills on every haircut. Every now and then you have to change it up a little bit, but because everybody's hair is different. But this guy definitely needed a haircut. He needed a haircut for real. So hopefully I can save him, and of course I can. Oh so good, for sure. I got this. But anyways, this dude decided he's had a comb over, and I think it might have been like 6, 7 months, 8 months since he last got a haircut, and he's about to go back to school, so he wanted to get an undercut. So here we go. Take a look, and any comments I'll take, and enjoy the video. So many people ask me how long I've been cutting hair, so I kind of fell into it. I don't want to say I was pushed into it. I don't want to say I was thinking about being a barber my whole life. It just kind of fell into my lap. So I was put away for a little bit. I did time in prison, and so when I came out, I have 3 boys. So there's no way. At that time, I kind of struggled to get a job, fresh out the penitentiary. Couldn't get a job. Then my kids, I had 3 boys, and then I needed a haircut. So I couldn't afford 4 haircuts. So one day I just decided to go to Walmart. Got me one of those Walmart hair clippers, the one with the pretty little colored guards. And I started cutting the hair. People introduced me to YouTube. I started watching a lot of YouTube videos, picking up a lot of techniques here and there, how to fade, how to do the bald line, how to erase a guideline. And of course, when you first start, you make the first guideline, the 0 guideline, the bald guideline, and then you erase it. But my thing was, I would erase it and I wouldn't see it, so I would make another one, and I would always end up going higher and higher and higher, until I finally realized the concept of getting a fade was erasing the line. But I didn't even capture that until later down the road. But I started watching so many YouTube videos, and then one day I decided to tell my wife, I'm like, hey babe, I'm gonna go to barber school. And I ran across a couple of these barbers, the old school, the OG barbers, and how some barbers were like, go to barber school, go get your license and become a great barber. So I looked into it and I fell in love with it, man. I went to barber school and I started cutting hair, and during the weekends, only on Saturday, I ended up at a little moms and pop shop, and because I was full-time barber student, and so on Saturday I would go and cut some heads, and then here I am. It's been 8 years for me. I started back in 2014. Right now we're in the year of 2022, and it's been 8 years for me. So, and I enjoy it, man. I love this career, and I asked myself, I'm like, man, what would I have been doing today if it wasn't for barbering? But I can honestly say, man, barbering saved my life. It saved my family, and it's crazy because I never ever in my life cut hair. Not even in prison, I didn't cut hair. After I came out of prison, I've never cut hair in my whole life. Never thought about cutting hair, and it just fell on me. So, and I'm glad, and I liked it, I loved it, and I enjoyed it. And so now I'm trying to, better my technique, better my skills by watching other YouTube guys, because for real, these days you have a lot of amazing barbers. You know, you have those old school barbers that were really good, but now it's just like you're seeing a whole different other level of barbers. And so I do recommend, man, to watch a lot of these barbers and pick up some skills from them, and you'll learn. That's what I did, and I did learn from a lot of these barbers. Everybody cuts different, but it's whatever you like, and the way, because it's just different. You know, you cut different, the next barber cuts different, everybody has a different technique, so you just gotta find yours. And here's mine, man. Just take a look and keep watching. So if you look at the mirror real quick, boom, right there. I am using the slicker. It's a pretty cool thing to use, man. It kind of does save a little bit more time, you know, where you put this. The slicker's right there on my chest, and so I do have my GoPro attached to the slicker. And I thought it was gonna be a bad view, but it's not a pretty bad view. It's all right. Anyways, so the slicker is where you put your clippers, your scissors, your combs, and your guards. That way you don't have to keep turning 100 times a day, you know? And it actually worked. The only thing is, you know what? I'll give a review on it later on. I'll make another video. And it's actually, I kind of do like it. It just takes a little bit of time to get used to it. But it's not a bad little tool. I guess you can call it a tool, maybe. I don't know. But the slicker, not bad. So these clippers right here, these are the Stylecraft, or the Alphas by Stylecraft. Man, these like have been my favorite clippers. I was introduced to the Walls and the you know, the Seniors, that Masters, the Andes Masters, and what else? It's they're called the, I forgot, Osters. Those were my Osters were my go-to, like from 0 to a 1, and then after anything after the 1, I would use my Wall Seniors. But the technology, man, it's been booming, it's been going off, and so lately these have been my all the way, all around go-to clipper, you know, from 0 to the 3. And the blade on this thing is amazing. I love it. Perfect, beautiful. And so I don't know what your favorite clipper is, but this has become my favorite clipper. I use this a lot, and I don't know if you noticed in the beginning, a little bit more in the beginning, I use a detachable blade. So what I usually do is I usually use my detachable blade. The Octanes, I've had those since I graduated barber college. I've had those for 8 years, and those things are fire. Man, if you want to knock down some bulk, quick, crispy, sharp, save some time, get you some detachables, man. Learn how to use them. If you don't know how to use them, use them bad boys. Them bad boys will save you a lot of time. The fade comes a little bit out more sharp. Like, so what I do is I'll use the detachable blades for more on kids. It's just, you know, quicker, faster, and it cleans up the fade faster. So I use my detachables a lot. But on this haircut, it just depends, you know, because it does give you a different kind of look on the fade, depending on what you use, whether the detachables or these guards. You just gotta pick and choose whatever. But anyways, these right here, the Alphas by Stylecraft, have been my go-to clipper. Love them, enjoy them, and I don't know, what is your favorite clipper? These are my go-tos right here. There's plenty of clippers right now. You have Stylecraft. I can't even keep up with them, but you have quite a few coming out. You find some on Amazon too. No brands. They might be amazing, but because they have good reviews, but not me. I'm not gonna try it out. But anyways, these are my go-to clippers, guys. These Alphas by Stylecraft. One thing, a technique I learned is these thinning shears. Learn how to use these bad boys also. These thinning shears are good for the game. Like, it help you blend the fade in, you know, instead of you just keep going over and over the same spot over and over. Just hit them with these thinning shears and it'll give you a nice little old fade. It'll help you blend it in pretty good and pretty smooth. Man, so I remember one of the things of when I first became a barber, when I first started working at that little mom pop and shop. I would go in there, and of course I was new to the game, so I didn't know how it ran or whatever. But anyways, as soon as somebody came in, I was like, hey, you ready? And they're like, nah, I'm just gonna wait on so and so. So there was two barbers at the time when I started. There was two barbers at the shop. Like I said, it was a real small barber shop, and so it was the owner and then the son of the owner. So they've been there for years. Well, anyways, these guys would come in, and then I'll be like, man, I'll jump on them, and I'll be like, hey, are you ready? You down for a cut? They're like, no, I'm just gonna wait on so and so. I'm like, all right, cool. So after like about a month, I just got tired of it. I was like, man, maybe this is not for me, you know. And then next thing you know, I mean, I guess the owner saw that I was kind of struggling, so he would send me one of his clients here and there, and he would also send like the dad's kids, you know. And as a barber, it's kind of hard to work with children because they move a lot, and especially that I didn't have that experience with kids. I've had to learn how to build my patience. I had to learn how to build my skills to work with kids. It wasn't easy, but I got it down. And so next thing you know, a couple of months went by, so I started doing kids haircuts. I started doing random people. I guess the people that would as walk-ins, I would get them, and I would just cut them up, fade them up. And next thing you know, I started, a few months passed by, and the same guys would come in. I'm like, hey, you ready? They're like, yeah, I'll give you a chance. You did my son's hair last time and I liked it. And so it just went from there. I started doing pretty decent when I first started. So as soon as I started barber school, I might have been like 4 months in. I might have been like maybe, I don't know, about 8 months out of prison. I started working there at that little mom pop shop. So, I wasn't good. I'm definitely not the best, and a little nervous, a little scared of doing haircuts. You know how it is when your first day at work, you're a little under pressure, but got it down and started building my clientele. Built my clientele there at the little mom pop shop. I built some clientele at the barber college, and so I've had people with me, following me for 8 years, man, and they've been with me through tough times, stint times, thick times. And this is the third shop I've been at in the last 8 years. So I try to stay where I work at, try to tough it out, because you're always gonna have ups and downs, good times, bad times, but just gotta tough it out, man. That's one thing I learned is when you move too much, you tend to lose clientele, and then you have to start over again. And that's one thing I didn't want to do. I didn't want to start over again, because it's not easy to build your clientele again, because you just get the walk-ins and you gotta do your best to try to keep them. But I mean, it's an everyday thing. You get as many walk-ins you can, take the walk-ins, man. Like, I know a lot of guys don't want to take walk-ins anymore. They're only appointment only, but I've learned, man, I've taken walk-ins, and that's how you build your clientele, and taking these walk-ins, and it's a good thing. So yeah, so there you go, on to the video. So these are my bad boys right here. These are these Oxter Octanes. Man, these bad boys, they have, I think, Supras also. I think those are made by Andes. But these Octanes, they're carbon fiber. Man, look, if you don't have a pair, I recommend it. Because these things, as you can tell, it knocks down hair like butter. And as a barber, once you start getting used to it, man, one of the things as barbering, you want to cut your time short. You save time with these clippers. I recommend it. It's an on-point clipper. But these are my Oxter Octanes, the one I was talking about. And these right here, these skeletons, they took over Andy's T-outliners. Like, these boys right here are some hitters. I like them. I haven't gone back. I used to use a lot of the GTX. Man, those GTX were my first go-to trimmers, and then I started using just the regular Andy T outliners. But my GTX, I love the blade, but there's something about this blade, man, that it took over for me. In my perspective, in my hands, it took over the GTX. Like, these are my go-to trimmers now. I love them, but that's it. You know what I mean? They're just all the way, my balding and my edging. So this is what I use. All right, so if you don't mind, guys, I'm gonna just go ahead and kind of like skip through it. That way I don't take up too much of your time. I'm just gonna kind of just skip parts and pieces, so that way you can enjoy the video a little bit better, a little bit faster. So here we go. So I don't know if you've noticed how I cut here, but I used the skip method. I think that's what it's called. It's where you use one guard and you skip the next one and you jump to the one that's after the next one. For example, I use the open clipper, and then I go to the 2, then I come back down to the 1, and then I come back to the half, and then I go down to the 1.5. So that's how I kind of blend in my haircuts. I learned that from another barber. But whatever fits your style, man. Just, you know, you got the ones that fade down, you got ones that fade up, and you got the ones that do the skip method. So I do a skip method. It worked for me. I saw my haircut. I seen a difference in my haircut. So I don't know. You got to try what fits you, what you like. That way you can understand what you're doing more. But this is my method. So I do the skip method. And there's plenty of out there, you know, just check them out, see whatever you like to do. Well, so you see that one side is longer than the other. Well, it's because this guy would get comb overs. So you know how when you get a comb over, one side is always going to be longer than the next. So we're actually going to even it all out. That way he can have an even haircut. So just FYI, you know, I know it's a little long on this side, on his left side, but we're fixing to even it out. Well guys, this is all I have for y'all today. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. You know what, I need to find something else to say other than that, because I hear that all the time. But anyways, hopefully y'all liked it for real though. Like it, share it, whatever, comment. I appreciate it. Next time.